Welcome back to Vibrato Week and to part 3. Today I'm going to demonstrate the 3 steps to luscious arm vibrato. Word to the wise, don't try these all in one day. Use this as a roadmap to know where you're headed. Practice them one by one. And then after I go through the 3 steps today, I'm going to show you one powerful exercise you can start on today called the hold and wobble. This uses a pencil or a straw. I just about guarantee you've never done it before. It's absolutely crucial for getting vibrato to work for you, and it just takes about a minute. If you want full detailed training steps, 5 minutes at a time, plus community support, accountability, personal attention from me, then keep an eye out for my next enrollment session of my program. So here we go. Step 1 is nicknamed the training wheels. This is AKA good bass left hand technique. In Vibrato in 3 steps, I give you a complete anti-death grip checklist that you can always use to combat extra tension. Today I'm going to tell you the #1 thing to remember, which is NPD. Never pull down. You can tell that I'm not pulling down because you can softly bump my elbow and it goes up. You can also test for never pull down by occasionally playing with your head off. That's one exercise that you can do to build some freedom into your training wheels or your basic hold. Because if you can trade off between your hand or your head, keeps you from getting in the habit of pulling down more and more and more. And it gives you those options to kind of combat tension creeping in while you're playing. That brings us to step 2, which is remove the training wheels. Imagine if you left training wheels on your bike for like 3 years. It'd be safe, but you'd never really learn how to ride freely. Our hand position with the stand, the V stand, and the knuckles softly touching here is a great place to start to get your bearings and start finding the notes. For a dramatic vibrato to work, we have to get that knuckle away from the side, like this. After all the hard work that you've done to get this position right, it can feel like you are destroying all that is right and good with the world to try to get away from the side. And to be able to put vibrato into your playing, you've got to be able to get in and out of this position while you're playing. If you never learn this, then your vibrato will always be too tense or too subtle to really hear, or it could be on permanent, flat-out lockdown. If you train this just a little bit before you try to crank it out into a tune, it's every bit as freeing as removing training wheels from a bicycle. You'll be leaning into those curves, and you and the laws of physics will be at one, and you're going to have that powerful, shimmering vibrato in no time. Or a little time to train it up. So now we have a good bass technique, and we've freed that knuckle from the neck. Real quick notice that when you see it here, it doesn't look like I'm so far from the side, so you may not know that your favorite players are actually pushing out, quite a ways, right there. So now we're cruising on through step 1 and step 2 to step 3, which is wavering pitch. This is the arm movement that makes the pitch change. This is basically vibrato. But before we can get a relaxed, continuous pitch waver, aka vibrato, we will get the hang of a single pitch waver, aka vibrat. If you go right into vibrato without first learning to vibrat, your vibrato will probably always stay too narrow. We want a deep, wide vibrato that sounds really dramatic and powerful first, because from there it's easier to go to a tighter vibrato if you want to create a feeling that's more like tense. We always want to start with the note, in tune, then waver down lower than the note, and then back. Here's a vibrat with no bow. I'm already in step 2, and I'm just going to open from the elbow and keep some firmness in my wrist so that it doesn't go bending. That way I can get one single vibrate. And I'm going to nickname this in my head waver. Now I'm going to show you what that sounds like with bow. Now I'm going to add 2 wavers and then end on a wave, just so that we can end where we started. And now I'm going to add 3. And then I'll do continuous. You'll be able to breeze through that like I just did once you go through the training steps. Now here's one really unique exercise you can start with today for that finger flexibility that I'm talking about. 1 second while I trade my violin for a straw. This is the hold and wobble. You need a plastic straw or a pencil. I recommend the straw first because it's light, and then work your way up to a pencil. If all you have is a pencil today, go for it. I know you can do it. Even if you're going to do this once in your life, it will set up some powerful brain muscle connection that you can use for your vibrato. Then it only takes 1 minute a day to just completely seal the deal on this powerful little secret. So first, you're going to just hold this straw or pencil in this first knuckle of your index finger. And then once you kind of get it in there, let the other fingers flop over so they're not like adding a bunch of tension. So I'm holding it here in this knuckle. And what's going to happen when you clamp down enough to hold the straw or the pencil here, the pencil's a little bit more challenging because it's heavier. Our muscles like to work in big groups, so it's going to want it to make this knuckle clench in as well. What we want to do is continue to hold the straw, but get this knuckle just completely loose. See, mine was wanting to clamp down there, but then I just let it go. So work with that until you can get this just to completely let go, and then try it on every finger. That one's a little challenging. And even the old pinky, which is always kind of a bear. What this basically does is it turns your fingers into the ball. So remember the ball where we have these mechanisms that send the knuckles back, and it's easy for them to go back because the ball is rolling. Now your fingertips are going to be just like a ball too. I hope that this is an exciting roadmap for you, or maybe brought some clarity to your vibrato adventures. Thanks for joining me for Vibrato Week. See you next time.